Welcome back to Capra Review. So data from Gallup Analytics show that up to 44% of American households own a gun. So how would a ban on ghost guns affect a gun owner? Joining us now is State Director of the National Rifle Association, D.J. Spiker. D.J., welcome to Capra Review, and thank you so much for being here. So first, how does the NRA classify a ghost gun?
Well, we certainly, the term ghost gun is becoming more and more popular, especially with the media. But essentially, the media defines it as a gun that just doesn't have a serial number. The challenge there that we have found is there are a number of hobbyists who enjoy creating their own firearms that don't require a serial number. And this is a tradition that dates back centuries, even to the very founding of the country. So we look at ghost guns as any firearm that doesn't have a serial number, but obviously that category is very broad. And in that's where we see a lot of the challenge in regulating this area.
And for gun owners who are watching, would a ban on ghost guns affect them, or probably not because they should have a serial number on them?
And that's one of the challenges of the legislation that's been filed here in Maryland is, as written right now, we have some big concerns about this legislation. Number one, it is very broad, and I think there are some unintended consequences that may impact gun owners who may be hobbyists, who enjoy making their own firearms, who may have received a firearm that was passed to them by their grandfather and great-grandfather that doesn't have a serial number. It wasn't required to by the federal government. There are some unintended consequences that could impact these things, and should somebody inadvertently get swept up in it, the penalties in the proposed legislation would actually bar them from gun ownership under current federal law. So we do have a number of concerns about what we feel is overly broad reach of this legislation.
And how would you then go about it? How would a gun owner, go about it then?
Certainly, look, we have always viewed this, the area of regulating firearms is incredibly complex. And trying to do this at the state level, you run into things where you deviate from federal law. Right now, the ATF is reviewing specifically unserialized firearms. They're expected to come out with a new rule that will go to public comment sometime in the next few months. Our concern is that Maryland is going to be deviating away from these proposed regulations that the ATF is going to have. We organizationally have always said there's a reason the federal government regulates this, because that way gun owners, no matter if they live in West Virginia or if they live in Maryland, they know what the expectation is. The challenge is when these individual states try putting their own regulations and own standards, we risk going away from federal standard. Again, the punishment I alluded to earlier. So our concern is ATF is the experts in this. It's very complex. Trying to regulate that at the state level runs into these overly broad and overly punitive measures that we find sweep in and pull in folks who did not intend to break the law, who enjoy making their own firearms, et cetera. So that's what we think. It should be left to the federal level. ATF are the experts in this matter, and that's where we think it should stand.
And the situation at Magruder High School in Maryland last week involved a student bringing a ghost gun to school. Where does the NRA stand on how guns should be monitored? Are ghost guns a problem, or does the NRA believe that there's a better way or different route to go about it?
Certainly, it's always unfortunate when these tragedies happen, and there is a responsibility when it comes to owning a firearm. We've always said that. Gun ownership is a constitutional right, and the government, we don't feel that the government has an obligation to step in and say, here's how you have to secure a firearm, et cetera, because we believe that comes with ownership of that firearm. It certainly is a challenge when it comes to these things, and it's, what gun owners in general just have to be responsible with their firearms. But we don't believe the government is in a position to say, for example, some of the proposed legislation here in Maryland in the past, you don't have the opportunity to defend yourself because you have to secure ammunition in a different part of your home, the firearm in a different part of your home. And in doing so, we're disarming every gun owner in the state of Maryland. So certainly some opportunities there to look at. But at the end of the day, we feel gun owners are responsible, law-abiding citizens, and that's ultimately where we fall.
D.J. Spiker from the National Rifle Association, thank you so much for being here, for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back.